All right, everybody. What's up? What's up? All right. Dow ended up down 79 points. Nasdaq up 29 points. S&P down 4. However, some crazy gyrations again today. What happened today? Very interesting. I think interesting, maybe frightening is the word. I don't know, but it kind of transitioned from this whole thing has been an economic situation, right? Talking about trade wars. And by the way, nobody except for myself has come out with any actual numbers to show just what effect a so-called trade war would have on the economy. I did that, all right, and I sent that out to my subscribers. I put that in the MMT Trader Report. I broke it down. I broke it down with data, all right, what would be the impact on GDP from an all-out trade war. That means if Trump put his threatened 10% to 25% tariffs on the full boat, 522 billion of Chinese goods, what would the effect be on the U.S. economy? I broke it down with numbers. Now, I don't see anybody else doing that. What I see people or what I hear people doing is just blurting out hyperbole. Like, oh my God, it's a trade war. It's going to be terrible. All right, well, if it's going to be terrible, then show me how it is going to be terrible. Don't just spew out some line without really understand what it is. I bet you most people don't even understand what a trade war is. Most people don't even understand what a tariff is. Most people don't understand what effect a tariff has. Most people don't even understand who pays the tariff, okay? All these things, you just hear people saying, oh my God. And by the way, that's coming from high-level economists, people in the media, the same crowd. It's always the same thing. It's just some soundbite that is thrown out there. And everybody gets scared and everybody gets crazy, but nobody takes the time to explain, I did. I'm the only one out there. And by the way, if you want those numbers, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader or Zombie Trading. I should mention there is going to be a new service that I have offered very soon. It is going to be an options trading service. Okay, so that is coming out very, very soon. I will make an announcement. It's going to be a limited risk options strategy service. All right, everything predetermined, what your risk is going in, what your potential reward is. For those of you who like options, and it's going to be all based again on MMT. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting for many of you. Now, and I will make that announcement. So, all we hear blurted out is a trade war. So, up until now, it's been an economic conversation or an economic puzzle. We've had the reaction by the herd, crowd behavior, since going all the way back to the very beginning of this in March when Trump first said he's going to hit China with tariffs. Everybody went crazy and started selling when, again, most people don't even know what a tariff is. Most people don't know how a tariff affects the economy. And I have not seen any sort of effort whatsoever to break it down in numbers. All right, people just reacted like crazy. They started selling, and every time he mentioned tariffs, like Tariff Man or anything like that, they start selling like crazy. Again, just a pure emotional reflex reaction, not even understanding what is the effect is going to be. Zero understanding. Just let's sell. Let's just sell like crazy. All right, so that's fine for us. My group here, that's fine for us because we're just going to make more money. That's number one. Now, I said today it kind of shifted a little bit from an economic discussion or puzzle to a political one, because what triggered the selling today was the U.S. had arrested in Canada, asked the Canadian police authorities to arrest a Chinese citizen. This person is the CFO of Huawei Communications. That is China's largest telecommunications company. That is like the Apple Inc. of China. And this woman, Sabrina, she goes by the name of Sabrina Meng. And she is the daughter of the founder. She is a revered person in China. She is like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. She's a very, very revered person. The United States had her arrested in Canada. The Canadians went along with it, supposedly because she had violated the Iran sanctions. And she has been under investigation, I believe, going all the way back to last April or last March, and they had her arrested. Now, this is really something. This is really something, because this looks like a terrible, terrible embarrassment for Xi, the Chinese premier, the Chinese leader, Xi, whatever his name is. The Chinese in the media over there is up in arms over this, understandably so. The United States seen as taking a move that was very, very aggressive. Having another country arrest this person. In the past, the United States has pursued charges, but never went this far. So this is really a new escalation, a new level of intensity, and this moves really to more of a political level. Now, China most likely will retaliate in some. I'd hate to be an Apple executive in China right now. You better expect some retaliation. So I don't know, more market volatility ahead. But we saw I thought pretty decent close. We were down for most of the day, over 500 points. I think it was almost down 700 at one point, 600 something I saw. So down 79, I'll take it. NASDAQ was actually up on the day. S&P down marginally, was still hovering right around 2,700 on the S&P. All the averages are up on the year still. Now, there are many stocks that are faring much worse, no doubt about it. The banking sector in particular, that is very, very curious to me, because underlying all that selling is actually a very, very improved fundamental situation for the banks and the financials. And if you're a subscriber of mine, you know what I'm talking about, because I have been showing for weeks and weeks and weeks, and especially in the last several weeks, we have seen an acceleration in bank credit. We have seen bank assets go up. We have seen bank residual, which is basically bank capital or bank wealth, assets minus liabilities of the bank, go up to an all-time record high. So the banks are healing themselves. And a lot of this has to do with the Fed's operations now, monetary operations. And not now, really. It has to do with what the Fed has done over the last, 9-10 years with boosting up reserves in the banking system. A lot of people think, oh, that's a good thing and that helped. That was a terrible thing. Terrible thing. They got to get those reserves down. As a matter of fact, last week there was an article published in a paper. The Fed did a survey. Somebody sent me this. It was a very, very interesting find. Somebody sent me a survey that the Fed conducted among bank executives, top bank executives, asking them what is a comfortable level of reserves. And the banking community came back and said, we are comfortable with a level of reserves of $600 billion. Well, guess what? The level of reserves currently is almost 1.8 trillion. It's over 1.7 trillion. So the banks are saying, we don't need all these reserves. They're sitting on our balance sheet as low yielding assets. They factor into our leverage ratios. They inhibit us from taking on other assets, or for that matter, making loans. Get them down. Fed is just going very, very slowly on this. And this all factors into this kind of junk economics, this wrong, flawed understanding. I think the Fed and the people on the Fed think we're in the world of Jimmy Stewart's It's a Wonderful Life, the Bailey's Building and Loan, where the banks are lending out their reserves. That is not happening. Overnight lending, maybe, but that lending does not cause any increase in net money supply. It's just a shuffling around of reserves. They all stay in the banking system. So the banks are saying, get the reserves down. We need a third of what's in there right now. Fed's going real slow, but it's coming down. Anyway, tomorrow is the November jobs report. I sent out my forecast. So my forecast is always right. And what I do that nobody really gets is the magnitude of the deviation above or below the consensus forecast. That's what's important. How much it overshoots or undershoots the consensus forecast. That's what moves the markets. And I come up with that. So if you want that, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader, and I will send it to you. All right, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.